Good morning and welcome to this week's WandaVision recap show. I'm your host Grant Liston, a very bored Englishman. So this episode just went full out, you want answers? Here's some answers, because weirdly this show kind of turned into me building up to this show. So I spent a good 2 to 3 weeks getting as much information as I could about the show to bring to you the people. And I had graphs, I had a whiteboard, I was, tape everywhere, wires crossed everywhere, and then this show kind of did it as well. I was having some Vietnam flashbacks going, yep, I did that too. So the show starts really interestingly. We get reintroduced to Monica Rambeau's character, who plays Geraldine in the WandaVision universe of Westville. And it turns out Monica was one of the people who got snapped away, or what they're calling the blip. She was a victim of the blip. She wakes up in hospital, she's looking for a mother, but it turns out she died 3 years previously. She then is reinstated in S.M.R.T and is tasked with finding a missing persons. Weirdly enough, the show actually doesn't tell you exactly who the missing person she's looking for, but you can assume it's probably Wanda. But then they kind of reference that it's actually the whole town that's missing of Westville, because they bump into a few police officers and they say, this town shouldn't exist. The show then starts to throw some answers our way, starting with the helicopter. It was actually one of S.M.R.T's drones that they threw in there, and it just turned itself into a time-appropriate device, which I thought, okay, that's pretty interesting. We see that at the end of the first episode of WandaVision, someone's writing in a S.M.R.T journal. We find out that's actually Darcy from the Thor series. Kind of fan servicey, but it's nice to see the universe is still there. It's like the people are still interconnected, which is, I'm happy with that. Speaking about bringing fan favourites in, they brought in Jimmy Woo, and I thought that was great from the Ant-Man series. I thought he was great, and he's got such great energy to this role, which I think is fantastic. But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. On to the main point of the show. This week's episode focuses more on what's going on outside of the WandaVision universe. So the main thing we learn from this episode is basically that S.M.R.T are, or it seems to be, they're the good guys, and they're trying to infiltrate this wacky doolally universe and save whoever's inside. And you see that with the drone, and you realise it was them trying to contact Wanda through the radio. But when they're watching things back on the television screen, all those really intricate moments where Wanda and Vision sort of come out of their own lives, and they're like, why are we here? What's going on? And it gets really serious and intense. Those bits seem to have been edited out for Darcy and Jimmy Woo and all the other agents that are watching the show with us. Now, the show ends with Monica Rambeau's character getting blasted out, the same as the previous episode, and she's swarmed by the SWAT team, but they're friendlies, thank God for that, she's not been captured. And she wakes up and she goes, it's Wanda. It's all Wanda. Now, you know what? I'm still sticking with Hydra. Because, yeah, it may be Wanda who's created this little in-universe, but the why is still unknown. I think she's still being manipulated, and there's been one too many Hydra references to be ignored. So I'm sticking with that. Now, as much as this episode was intriguing and it answered a lot of questions, I'm still not quite there. I'm looking forward to the next episode to see how it continues, and it was nice. This episode was a nice change of pace because it finally gave us a few answers. They really tried to portray this as this is a serious matter, and I understand that and I respect that, and I'm along for the ride. I'm going to watch until the end, but we're 4 episodes in now, and I'm still not drooling at the mouth going, I need more! So, and that's where I need to be with all my MCU stuff, because it kind of feels, I don't know if it's for you guys the same, but it kind of feels when Endgame came out, that was the end, and pardon the pun, Endgame, the end, but it was the end. That was it. We were done with the Marvel Universe because, Iron Man's dead, Captain America's retired, You know, it was a sense of finality, and I'm glad they decided to take a break. Unfortunately, the global bastard kicked in, and so we can't actually do anything else. But they took a break, which was sort of smart. But there now just seems to be this lackluster. You got to start all over again. You got to build up a whole new villain. You got to introduce a whole new characters. And let's be realistic here. They struck gold with the fairly, I'd say, unknown to the mainstream market of the Guardians of the Galaxy. They struck gold there, but with the rest of the characters they're going to be bringing in, you know, the Eternals and Moon Knight, they're not really well known to mainstream audiences, and I think they're going to be very hard pushed to get people to get behind them like they did with Cap and Iron Man and Thor. You know, they're going to have to really dig in and give us something new and unique. They've really got to try and win us back again. I think it was Steven Spielberg in an interview said that the superhero genre is going to go the same way as the cowboy westerns, and you know what, I think he might be right. But for now, I'm just here for the journey, and this episode was pretty good. Ooh, if I was going to rate it, I'd probably give this one about a 7 out of 10 actually. This episode was really, really fun. It was just nice to see a different side of where they're coming from. But what do you guys think of this week's episode? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to like the video, share the video, and I'll see you all next time for episode 5. Take care now.